Good evening and welcome, hello, to everyone here tonight in Division 4. SFR returns to Qatar, one of the newer additions to the Formula 1 calendar. Originally in 2021, Lewis Hamilton coming home with the win in that exciting 2021 season where he came home P1 with a lot of tyre failures in that race, one being Valtteri Bottas, which opened up Fernando Alonso's return to the podium for the second time that season. It was after the podium in Hungary after the disqualification of Sebastian Vettel. However, as we start qualifying now, tyre killer, long track, long corners. It's a MotoGP track. MotoGP most famously race around here. They have done for a long time. As we see a couple of cars now coming out onto the track for the first time, James C. Killer will lead us away in qualifying tonight. As we start off coming out the pit lane, you can see the length of the straight that we have along here, around here. That is the only DRS zone of the track. A lot of corners, long corners, perfect for those bikes, sweeping corners as well. Very easy to kill the tyres, which we'll see later in the race. Possibly we could see a little bit of grip failure. It'd be interesting to see if someone goes out on the mediums to try and set a lap on that, as the mediums may provide better traction over one lap itself. I doubt anyone will be braving the softs in the actual race tonight. If they are, they'll be very brave. The 5.41 kilometer circuit. Of course, the first race 2021, which I've mentioned, was Hamilton, Verstappen, Alonso. Hamilton, Verstappen, of course, in that very exciting season, coming home 1 and 2 again. Lap record, however, was only set last year with a 22.3, set by Lando Norris in his McLaren on his way to a P2 in that race. And we'll see what does come off, and we can see where the racing line is. You can see the very darkened patches on the track. In real life, it was resurfaced for last year. I'm not too sure if they have it laser scanned. If they do, then we'll be able to see that. It's heading into turn 1. James C. Killer with the DRS open. Brakes just past the 50 in the long sweep, and it feels like it goes on forever. You can run out as wide as well, and you want to keep it tight through here. You can take it flat a lot of these corners later in the session. You may be able to take it flat when it grips up a lot more in towards turn 4 now, and turn 5, the 290-degree corners. Very easy to run wide on that outside. You've got to cut straight back across to the inside, to the outside for the next corner, the hairpin, and then into another hairpin. And this is where it kills the tyres, those long extended corners, into a bit of a break now through the middle sector, and coming through again straight away into turn 10, out of turn 10, in through 11, a little bit of a straight. This is where you'll use majority of battery, possibly an overtaken chance, and the 3 fast corners, 1, 2 and 3, all 3 of them can be flat out. Little shift down though for James, and the final one, turn 15 there, can be flat as well. Turn 16 now, opening up for the long straight. You want to go as tight as you can before opening up and trying to get the best run you can down the long straight. And there we go, 23.9 is the first one of the session, beaten already by Silver Fox with the 23.1. No one behind setting a lap. That is the Alpine of Alex Haig. However, he's going to go to the line 22.9 to set the provisional pole time for everyone to beat. John Mobes is going to go faster though, 22.6. He's first of the Ferraris to set a lap. It'll be Brass Monkeys up along next. Very easy to validate, of course. I have mentioned the 2 Aston Martins following. One of them's door and one of them goes to the top. It's going to be Billy G to follow. Billy G goes to P5. Preb starting his lap. Silver Fox. That was Wakey going to P3 in the Red Bull. Or the Red Bull of Mad G coming around the final corner on his wheel. This is a track that will favour him and anyone on the wheel. Goes to P7, however, that advantage isn't coming in yet. Williams behind a Smith operator, trying to get a bit bit of a toe down that long straight. It's a high downforce circuit. Any toe will be advantage, will be a huge advantage down the straight. And that is where the majority of the overtaking will be. P7 for the Vicar, just behind his championship rival. In P6, out the final corner, you see a car come round. That is Dylan Vince on an outlap. Preb will be next. No, it will be Silver Fox next, sorry. And yeah, it will actually. What's his smart operator? It is Preb. Preb next to set a lap. We'll see him come round the 3 right-handers now. Very easy to run wide as well, especially. And you see him taking it flat, and he go right on the limit there. Perfection by Preb to keep it in the track limits. And could this be the perfect lap for the McLaren man that he's wanted this season? Hasn't got a pole position all year yet. I believe he's got a podium. He's been unlucky recently with DNFs, and he's going to go to P10 there for the McLaren. Like Creed on a lap as well. Dylan Vince coming round to the middle sector now. Smart operator in the Williams, coming around the final corner now onto the main straight as well. That right-hander hard to stick on the inside there. As to P12 goes operator, but just ahead of his teammates. And we'll see what does come through. It's hello to G-Richt. I believe that is Clouser saying hello, or he may be supporting Clouser. And that is a name we haven't heard in a while. Tom, speaking of Tom, he is absolutely rapid recently. He got the win in Brazil. Could have had the win last week, but the win went to Dylan Vince in his maiden win this season at that. Preb, however, has got a pole this season. That is on me. 3 DNFs in a row for him. He's not hoping to make it 4. He's not wanting to break my unbeatable record, as people will say, of 17 in a row, which should carry him into next season at this point. And that is a record you don't want to be breaking at all. And I'm not proud owner of that one. Through the middle sector now, Tom, coming around turn 10. Of course, Qatar being a newish track. In real life, a lot of the teams don't really have a lot of data. It's the fourth running of it this year, if it does go ahead. And that'll be more than enough data for these cars now. Back in 2021, the tyre killer event it was. There's been a tyre killer ever since as well. Of course, the limiting of the limiting of stints you had in 2023. You had to do 17 laps, and then you had to pit Tom to P7 there, splitting Billy G and the Vicar, who are currently split by 6 points in the championship. 8 podiums apiece, 3 wins for Billy G, 4 wins for the Vicar. However, 2 fastest laps in his favour and a pole. Vicar still yet to get a pole this season, which proves qualifying pace is not all that. And Preb, I keep forgetting, it's got lap data on. Turns it off, it's back on now. 15, it'll be a 23 this lap, I believe. It's going to try and find the corner to finish the lap. It's going to be a 23.2 ahead of P7 there. It'll be P6 for Preb. It's Noel McLaren on third row of the grid for now, but just behind his teammate Silver Fox though, by less than 300th of a second. Current cars on track: Preb, Readout, and Dom. And a couple others actually on a outlap, but the only cars on an actual lap are Readout, Dom, and Preb. 2 of them on an in lap probably. And Readout, that means he is the one coming round at the minute. Readout this season, currently in the championship, is P9. Consistent running for him all year long. Came out last week with 11 points after a strong points position in Japan. Japan, a very exciting race on all scales of it. After an early safety car, and you saw people trying to chase down later on, Billy G picking up a penalty which could have extended the championship lead with the win. However, he picked up a late 3-second time penalty. Riedelt goes to P12 along with that. And our first safety car of the year, of course, last season as well. Wakey Joe through sector 1, 500s up. We need 3/10 to go ahead of John and Doran. The two that are currently P3 and P6 in the championship now, John Mobes is. After a strong early run for John Mobes, so he is on 3 pole positions, of course. He's equal with Doran, but the pair of them not leading the championship, not even that close. Doran 37 points off of the championship lead at this point. And it's going to be Wakey Joe to the line. He's going to go to P3, 1/10 improvement. For him, he gets within a 10th of John Mobes now, a 10th and 1,000th to be exact on that one. John Mobes on a lap though, coming through sector 1. This will be interesting to see his gap over Doran. Doran on an out lap as well. He's looking to improve along with him. 2.5 tenths up for John through sector 1. As he pushes on through turn 7, the long turn 7. Very easy to go wide as well. Turn 8, 9. In a very sweeping fashion, turn 10. Out of that one, he comes to the end of the second sector, a short blast sector kind of thing. He's lost a little bit of time there, so there is time to gain on his final run when he does eventually go for that one, but he's flat all around there. A little bit of a flick through turn 14 is needed, and turn 15 especially as well. Turn 16, Dylan Vince to pole position, 22.5 out of nowhere. Dylan Vince came with that one, and Dylan Vince goes to provisional pole. John Mobes doesn't steal it back after a poor final sector. He loses 2/10 in the final 2 sectors. Doran is not far behind actually. He may have let him through on that lap. He may have just came up behind him. John Mobes, the vicar, starting his lap as well. Alex Haig coming through the final sector now. Looking on the map, no one really on a map on a lap. Maggi on an out lap coming to the line. It'll be Alex Haig next. P5 at the minute, 22.9. Needs a 4/10 improvement to go to provisional pole, and he invalidates right at the last. He invalidates the lap, and it'll be interesting to see what he did set. If he does go for to set it, no, he's going to dive into the pit lane very, very quickly. Is Alex Haig. Car behind Riedelt on an in lap. Or possibly a charge lap. It's an in lap for the Haas. Cars on a lap at the minute. It'll be Dylan Vince. No, it'll be James in P12. He'll be first to set a lap. It'll be Preb next. No, it'll be Vicar next to properly set a lap. 3.8 tenths up. 3.8 tenths, sorry, 3.83 up on his lap at the minute. Not 3.83, 0.383. That'll put him ahead of Billy G, just and possibly ahead of Preb and Silver Fox too. He comes at the final corner now. The man without a pole position this season goes to P5. Ahead of Billy G. Behind him, that's Doran. Doran goes to provisional pole with a big improvement. 2/10 up on his lap time there, and a 122.455 is in order for him. The Mad G comes to the line as well. He goes to P7. 8/10 improvement. Huge improvement for him on that lap. Preb next through the middle sector. Invalidation for him. He's gone for another warm-up lap by the looks of it, or he may just pit and get a new fresh set of tyres on, because he will not have enough time if he goes for one more lap to go out, do the lap, come back in, and a little bit of spin there as well, nearly taking out the 150 metre board into turn 15. And you really can see the racing line come through, and you don't even need the racing line on around this track. You can kind of just see it and just follow it with your eyes, and just follow it with your knowledge in general of racing. You can see as well where the braking point is, where the apex is, with the darker spots are, as we follow Billy G through sector 1. The Vicar on a lap. Vicar going slowly on his in lap there, sorry. That's why he's on a lap. He's on an in lap. And that may be his session over. 3:30 to go. Matt G on an in lap as well. Could we see them get out for one more try, or are they going to save a set of tyres for the race in case of a late safety car? But even then, I don't think the softs will last 4 or 5 laps. I don't think they'll even last 3 laps for pure pace. And we see the Vicar come into the pits. Will he have time to get back out again? Doran in as well. John Mobes and Wakey on an outlap, looking to go faster than the Aston Martin and the V-Carb ahead of them. Wakey trying to jump for his first pole position this season. He's got 2 fastest laps. He's certainly got the pace in the race when it comes to one-lappers. But does he have it when it comes to qualifying? Does he have it in terms of consistency? We'll find out now. Through the final corner, Wakey is going to attempt his lap of the session. 22.798 is what he's got to beat for himself, and then he's got to beat the 22.455 by Doran in P1. The Aston Martin is looking for his 4th pole tonight as well. He comes out the pit lane again. 2 minutes 10 on the clock. Vicar and Mad G may not have enough time unless they get out right this second to come out. Doran on an outlap. And on an outlap. Dylan Vince still not out the pit lane either. He may have just stopped it himself. Billy G coming through that final sector now. We'll ride on board with him. P10 at the minute, looking to jump ahead of his championship rival in P5. He's got a 6-point gap to him, and he just needs to finish ahead of him in the remaining races. That's very wide. He keeps it valid though, but he may have lost a lot of time doing that. And he just comes round the final corner. Billy G not really happy with this track by the looks of it. He comes to P8, a 2/10 improvement. He has time to maybe go round and get a very quick charge on his tyres. Dom P11 as well. He's been up there recently, but he just hasn't been there either. Wakey pits, he may have invalidated, or he may not have been improving. John Mobes around the final corner, turn 16. Late-ish apex, and he invalidates right at the line. And he comes into the pits, and it would have been a good lap for him. It would have been a 22. Well, it would have been at least a 22. We know that. Doran to start his final lap. There's a couple of cars starting their final lap. Dylan Vince out on the track as well. Alex Haig, P6, looking to jump up ahead of the Vicar, who's only a 1,000th ahead of him. Mad G, Vicar, Wakey, John, Silver Fox, Readout and Night Creed cannot improve their lap time. They're all in the pits, and they're all not going to be out in time to take a lap, take the line before the checkered flag comes out for qualifying. Wakey has retired. He's in the pit lane though. Like I said, cannot improve his time anyway after the invalidation earlier on. Doran is going to be the first of them to improve his lap time. He's up 0.5 of a second. That's going to improve his lap time, which is just all he needs at the minute. Edge it as much as he can to take pole position. For the 4th time this season. I'll be saying it by the looks of it. He's gone a little wide there though. Through turn 13, unlucky number 13 for Doran possibly. He may have lost a bit of time. Through 15 and 16 it'll be the final corner for Doran in Qatar. And we'll see. Coming to the line, it's going to be Doran to improve by half a tenth. Preb, no improvement. Alex Haig up to P4 ahead of Wakey and the Vicar. But eyes are on Dylan Vince, who had a Mercedes ahead of him by the looks of it. It may have been Dom, or Dom may have been behind him. As to the line, there's a couple cars now. James P12, there's just 2 on the track. It's Dylan and it's Dom. The 2 coming round, and Doran has got pole position. Bar and Dom improving him massively through these final corners, and no, Doran has got pole position for the 4th time this season as Dylan slows it to the line and he lets him have it 17 seconds off He may have been held up. He may have got into a collision with Dom. And we'll see in the race what does eventually happen. Doran on pole position 4-time this season. P2 Dylan Vince, P3 John Mobes with the qualifying pace once again, showing it and flashing it again for him in that Ferrari. Alex Haig in P4, Wakey in P5, Vicker P6, just ahead of Matt G in P7, Billy G P8. Low qualifying performance for him. He's going to have to improve. Only 2 places behind the Vicker though. Silver Fox P9, Preb in P10, Dom is in P11 there, James in P12 as well. As we head into the race, it's been a very hard fought year for a lot of drivers. I mean, example in last race, it was 2 points. It was 4-point gap in the championship lead, but a 2-point swing into Billy G's favour after a podium, 2 third places in a row for him. Got him 20 points in Brazil. He took the championship lead in Brazil. And then another 20 points picked up in Japan. Vicker picked up a DNF and 0 points in Brazil, which lost him that championship lead by 4 points. And then he lost another 2 points finishing in P4 behind the man in front of him. However, Doran picked up the fastest lap and P5 in that race, which eventually picked him up 17 points. He's not far off the top 3 in the championship, 3 points apart in that last race, 27 points apart overall. All it takes for Doran is a win here and a double DNF for the 2 that are fighting for that championship, or a really low score, and he's really back into this race, into this championship race, with 6 to go. He still has a chance. Good evening to everybody joining us tonight for Division 4. 5 minutes till Division 3 qualifying, but I urge you to watch this race here. I believe it could be one of the best this season. Japan, at the minute, takes the cake for the best one this season. Takes the prize of best race this season, in my opinion. Doran on the hards. He's going to go for the alternate strategy. Dylan Vince on those mediums, though. All it takes is a safety car, though. And this could be Dylan Vince's race to win. He was on the mediums last week at the start. A safety car came out early after a Preb collision with the wall through Spoon. And that race was thrown wide open, with those on the mediums being able to pit and stay ahead of those on the hards on the strategy. John Mobes on the hards along with him, the Vicker, Mad G and Billy G all on the hards in 6, 7 and 8, followed by the 2 McLarens on the mediums just behind them, Tom and James on the hards too. Readout, Brass Monkeys, Night Creed and Smoth Operator in P13, 14, 15, 16 on the mediums too. Of course, the big one, Dylan Vince on the mediums. Already mentioned that one, however. There is the strategy. Possible to stop here is an option. Medium, hard. Medium, hard, or hard, medium, or even hard. Hard, medium. Dylan Vince gets himself disqualified. Lines up a bit further back than he should. Alex Haig doing the same. And that is going to affect those two on the bad side of the grid, the quote-unquote bad side of the grid. There, that looks like a McLaren going over the box there a little bit. Or it may have been perfect readouts. Gets it though. And for the 12th time this season, we line up 5 red lights in Qatar, and it's green, and we are go straight away. Dylan Vince with the better start over Doran. Doran's struggling on those hards already into turn 1. He may get overtaken by John Mobes, and his contact by the looks of it 3 wide into turn 1. Doran down to P4 from P1, Wakey up to P3. Contact that looks like the Vicar in P16. Alex Haig P2, if you've got stuff for him. Wakey P3 as well. Doran and Preb moving up a couple positions. John down to P6, Maggi up to P7, Dom in P8 off the start, Silver Fox P9. A little wide for Dom though. This is going to be a penalty picking up race, and this is going to come down to penalties eventually in this race. Billy G down to P11 off the start, may have made contact with the Vicar, and that is those two, and there's contact there as well, as it looked like Brass Monkeys made contact with Billy G. He has no damage on that car. Dom is making up places there. McLaren's off, and the Red Bull looked to be off as well. On comes the track, comes the Red Bull. There was a Preb off the road. He's down to P12 now, and it's chaos at the start here. Dom looking to make up places as well. He's already up to P6. Doran hanging on for a top 5 place at the minute. He had a very poor start. Very poor getaway. He got a decent reaction time, but he just could not get that second phase traction at all. And that is what caused him to absolutely sink like a stone through to turn 1. He was already down to P4 off the start, and those ahead are going to be blitzing the RS, and that is where this race will come to it. Dylan Vince under pressure from Alex Haig into turn 1. They go, no one making a move. Dom behind though, making a move on John Mobes. He's up the inside, gets that move done. John Mobes there as well. Wakey and Alex Haig making moves through turn 2. Turn 3 they go. Doran may have a little run into turn 4, end of sector 1, end of 5. That's the interesting one. Just keep it on the road in this race, and you will have a podium position due to the amount of penalties. Preb moving up to P11 ahead of Operator. Billy G, Brass Monkeys making contact with Mad G. Billy G is looking to get past Mad G, and it's going to be 2 wide through turn 7. Very wide for Billy G. He's going to get the launch on the exit though, and he gets the traction ahead of Mad G, and P9 is his. He cut the inside though. That's going to be a warning. First this race that I've seen, and this race will come down to penalties in the end. Now the Aston Martin under pressure, putting under pressure. Brass Monkeys on those mediums, running a bit wide in the Haas. Brass Monkeys there. Looks like he's going to force him to the outside into the final corner. Turn 16, will he have the traction though? There's contact, there's slight contact. Billy, Mad G goes round, and is going to lose all the way to the back of the field. And Mad G had DRS at least up there. There's a battle for the lead. Wakey and Alex Haig making places on each other there. Billy G and Preb, this is going to be the interesting one into turn 1. Preb up the inside of Billy G after making contact. There, he gets it done round the outside. Preb up to P9 ahead of Billy G, who is really struggling. Silver Fox ahead of John though in P7 as well. Dom now looking to gain that 2.5 second gap to the car ahead. Doran just hanging on those hards. He's going to get the better strategy come towards the end of this race though, with the eventual tyre offset. Doran just hanging on for P4. Not hanging on for P4. Wakey just hanging on to the DRS of P2 there, who Alex Haig is going to have a nice run if he gets a decent exit out this final corner. A bit of a slide entry, however, a bit of understeer for that Alpine, but the DRS is just too strong, not only in the F1 game but overall at Qatar. And up the inside, and he gets that move done, and Doran is doing the carbon copy into turn 1. And that is another move for the Aston Martin there. He's up to P4 on a bit of a comeback for that P1 after a very, very poor start. Preb looking a bit squirrely on the exit though. Brass Monkeys has been overtaken by him. Billy G is now going to put pressure on that Haas. Preb going for John, however, 2. Vicker looking to pull in on his championship rival, who's just ahead of him. And at the minute will be edging that championship lead just a little bit. Operator in P13. And there's the first penalty of the race. It's Dom. Lap 5, a little later than I expected. If I'm being honest, Brass Monkeys has been overtaken by Billy G already. Now this is going to turn into a bit of a DRS train, all the way from P6, maybe even P5, if Dom drops a little bit of pace. Well, Silver Fox picks up 3/10 as they all come down into the 12, 13, 14 section. Silver Fox looked a little wide there on exit. That is interesting to see. If he, this again, like I said, it's going to be a race of penalties. Who can keep it in the fall into the white lines on the edge of the track? That is the interesting one around here. But we'll see. Preb fastest lap of the race in P8. Doran, well, not Doran. Dylan Vince gets past Alex Hagan to turn 1. Doran just staying behind. Dom and the 2 McLarens there fighting each other as John gets past Silver Fox. We may see a swap of the McLarens. Preb looks absolutely rapid round here into turn 4. He's going to put it up the inside of his teammate. No, he's going to back off of that one. The 2 OWR boys putting pressure on each other in this race. Alex Haig, the other OWR in this race, up to P2 at the minute. Around the outside goes Silver Fox up the inside. That was Preb on his teammate. Gets that move done. Prebelli in the chat is very supportive of Preb there. Let's come round to the end of Sector 2, and this is where you can just see the train. Look on the map. Everybody's within a second of each other, and it's just going to be DRS overtakes galore down that main straight. Whoever has the lower downforce is really going to get a huge advantage there. I wonder if 00 Wings is effective around here. I do wonder if 00 Wings is an effective strategy around here. We will find out. Billy G, Dylan Vince under pressure for turn 1. Gets the move straight away. Doran now putting a bit of pressure onto that V-carb in front. He's going to have the better traction at this point. Heavier fuel loads on those mediums compared to the heavy fuel load on those hards. The medium's going to wear a lot quicker anyway, and then the added pressure of the weight is going to wear them a bit more. John has escaped Preb. Dom has escaped John, and Preb is looking to escape Silver Fox. Billy G's going round the outside of Silver Fox. Speaking of, through turn 6, it's going to have to get the better traction, which he does, and that is a beautiful move by the Scotsman. But Silver Fox comes straight back at him into turn 8, gets the move done through turn 9, and he keeps P8 ahead of Billy G, who has now got his championship rival ranging up to the back of him. 1.5 seconds is the gap to his rival behind. He's not a position behind him, but he very much so will be very soon with the DRS that Vicker will get down this main straight. So Billy G needs to get past quick. He needs to escape quick. Alex Haig setting the fastest lap of the race. He escapes Dylan Vince into turn 1. He doesn't have the DRS, does Dylan? Well, he does, sorry. Just dropped out of a second there. Billy G up to P8. The Vicker up to P10. Possibly even going to drop down to P11 again as Readout's up the inside. Breaks super late and goes super wide and lets him right back through. Readout's P11 now. Brass Monkeys P12. Losing 2 in one straight there, and he may even lose another. But by the end of this lap, as Smooth Operator, is looking to get the move done quickly as well. And of course, with the nature of the track, very hard to follow in this middle sector. That may be where Dylan Vince is dropping off as he comes through turn 10. That is where he's going to be getting a bit of issues. And he has dropped outside of a second. Doran's starting to drop a bit as well, but he'll make that gap back up. Dylan drops into the DRS, and this is going to just be a repeating action in this race of just dropping out the DRS, dropping back in, and Doran dropped out nearly fully. There, Wakey's dropped out nearly fully as well. That'll put him into the clutches of Dom if he does. And actually look like he has. He's lost a lot of time down that main straight to Doran, who looks to have a lot less downforce compared to that car ahead. Really seeing now this is going to be an interesting one. These two are of course 6 points clear of each other. The only way that he could retake the lead tonight is with a 6 point gap, which would mean he would need he'd need a top. If Billy Key was to stay in P8, he'd need top 4 to get that championship lead back up, possibly top 5 indeed in this race. And it's sliding around John Mobes. He's ranged up to the back of Dom relatively quickly, and now that Wakey has lost that DRS, he's going to fall off as well, and they're going to just close up to him. The mediums start to struggle under the evening, wouldn't really call it a sun anymore, it's more of a moon around here. Wakey Joe picking up his first 3 second time penalty of the race, lap 8 of 29, come around the final corner. Will he decide to pit early? No, he's not. He's going to drop out the DRS. Night Creep picking up a 3 second as well. Doran's got the DRS. Dylan's got the DRS. As they come down that very bumpy main straight, John Mobes is going to pull out. He's going to get the move on Preb up to P5. Dom. Not Dom, so he's going to get the move on Dom. Preb's going to go around the outside of Dom. He's going to get the better traction. It's going to turn to the inside for turn 2. And he's going to get the move done on that Mercedes. He's going to be cautious through turn 3. There's contact and they both go squarely. They lose a lot of time like that through turn 4. He's going to go to the outside. Maybe go for the switch back on him. And that was contact between those two. And that was interesting to see between Preb and Dom. And it kind of looked like Preb thought he had the move done. Maybe thought Dom would back off a little, but maybe turned in a bit early. But if that does go to the stewards, that'll be their decision to make. Back to the lead battle now. 2 seconds Wakey Joe's dropped off in the last lap. That is due to the DRS down that main straight as well. Leaders just seem to have so much pace. It's like they just cannot fall off at all. Dom picking up a second of the race. 3 second time penalty. He's going to pick one up every 4 laps at this race. And that is not a healthy habit to be doing. Operator picking up a 3 second as well. It's going to be Dylan Vince. Wakey's into the pits already. Lap 10 of 29. He's going to have to do 20 laps on those hards. Up the inside goes Dylan Vince on Alex Haig. No. Not going to get the move done just yet. As that is the first of the pit into the pits today. 19 laps. It'll be 20 laps on the hards. That is going to be an absolute killer to do. John Mobes, he's going to do the exact same as well. Possibly John Mobes is not going to do the exact same, so he's not going to pit yet. Preb may pit soon. Alex Haig may pit too as he picks up his 3 second time penalty in this race as well. I glossed over that one, I'm pretty sure, or I may have missed that one, and that is quite big in the effect of this race. As it comes around turn 12 through turn 13 as well, it's just constant cornering at this point. You should try to keep it within those 4 lines of the track. All 4 wheels in the lines of the track, sorry. 2 lines of the track that go around every corner. That is a bit of a slip by me there, but you know, we move on from it. Going right to the edge, he's going to force Dylan Vince up the inside. He's going to let him have the inside, and he's going to have him very, very quickly. Doran looking at it as well. A bit wide for Alex. May have just let Doran up the inside if he had decided to break a little later on the tyres. Grip advantage is going to come to him now. Starting to cross over for the hards. So we see Preb falling back a bit. Silver Fox as well. Matt G looking on a bit of a comeback drive. Up to P10 already. Doing well. Doran in P3 for his first win since Imola. I said that last week. I say it again. He's looking for his first win since Mexico. Sorry, not Imola. Start of the season, Mexico. And speaking of wins, Vicar, if he wins tonight, it'll be a first win since Monza. Monza, 25 points went to him. It was 2 in a row for him in Singapore. And then he obviously had the podium in Abu Dhabi, which I believe was not caught due to me being out at that time. And I'm pretty sure Simo actually covered me for that race, which was a very thank you to Simo. She's currently doing Division 3 tonight. Doran is looking. He's right on the back of that Alpine. He's going to go up the inside. Possibly he's going to put his car there. And he's going to force Alex Haig to brake later. Dom is going to put him into P4 as well. Those hards are going to start coming towards them now. Doran needs to get the move done. Pull out a gap. And just stay there for now. He's going to look up the inside for turn 4. Alex Haig doesn't give that gap though. Doesn't give him a chance to look up the inside for turn 4. And Doran is just looking for any opportunity, any open door on that inside. He's going to try and take it, no matter what. Oh, this will be interesting now. Alex Haig is just really under pressure from that Aston Martin. Will he? Really? I mean, you can see the gap dropping 3/10 this lap since turn 1. That is just from the hard being the better tyre from Dom. And this will be interesting. Dom always usually tends to run a lower downforce setup. And there we go, the two of them into the pits. That looks like Dylan Vince 2. Doran with the DRS is released. Finally, in some clean air. Dylan Vince into the pits. Alex Haig into the pits. Into the pits comes Preb as well. Anybody else wanting to follow readouts? It's too far back to really get a read on. These two are the ones we want to watch. Alex Haig and Dylan Vince. He comes out just ahead of him in the pit lane. Of course, obviously in the Japanese GP we had a incident where these two rivals came out next to each other in the pit lane. One of them ended up on the grass due to not lifting, and cost him the race win. Most likely cost him the race win at that point as well. Readout and Smart Operator having a nice battle. Only 4 seconds up the road from those behind. Could hold up and could give Doran a bit of breathing room at the front as well. 5 seconds is the gap he has over Dom and John. Billy G looking to get into that top 2 as well. He is all over that Ferrari. Interesting to see if he does get that win, or if he gets the podium. At least he's 5 seconds off his teammate, over 5 seconds off his teammate, and we'll see. As he goes up the inside into the final corner, Billy G is going to get that move done. Little wide for John. And this is going to be a drag race into turn 1. Who's got the more straight line speed? Who's got the lower downforce? Who has got the edge into turn 1? It looks like John. It looks going to be Dom as well around the outside. He's going to force some contact made between the two. Billy G's off the inside this time. Again, he's going to go force to the outside. Through turn 2, though he does have that grip. And there's slight contact made. John, goes round. And he's going to let his teammate through as well. Through turn 3, and that is John Mobes spinning round, and that is more unlucky contact this season for John. after contacting Hungary with his teammate and Billy G. I believe he got sent into the air in that one. Or was it the Vicar that got sent into the air? I'm not too sure which one it was, but no, it was a Ferrari flying, and it was interesting to see. As we come through now, Vicar just ahead of his teammate, Billy G just behind Dom. In that Mercedes, he's going to get the... He's got both Mercedes engines, both of them are in Mercedes engines. He's going to get the DRS into turn 1. Who's got the lower downforce? Who's got more pace down that straight? Into turn 1, Billy G makes it an Aston Martin 1-2 for now. Slight contact by Dom though into that left rear tyre, sorry. And that is an interesting one to see. Vicar not far behind. However, is on the better strategy, but they will come out quite far behind Alex Haig and Dylan Vince. Sorry, a bit of a yawn there in the middle of speaking. And those two, that'll be the interesting one between those two. As Alex Haig, of course, having that 3-second time penalty, Wakey 2.3 behind as well in that Red Bull. You can't really count him out. But Doran and Billy, the two without a penalty so far, on the better strategy. That's the more interesting one to see. As we'll see. And he comes through there, Dylan Vince. He's just ahead of Alex Haig. And it'll be, again, I keep saying, interesting race. Mad G picking up a penalty just ahead of these lots. 7 seconds up the road is Mad G. Dom putting pressure on John. On Billy G, sorry, into turn 1. Mad G is 7 seconds up the road of these drivers here. That'll be the interesting one to see. How much gap do you lose into turn 1 there? Not into turn 1, in the pit lane. Into turn 1 goes Alex Haig and takes the lead, takes the net lead back into this race. If I'm not wrong, the gap is about 20 seconds they'll need, possibly. And we'll see. Bit of a quiet spot in the race. Raises a bit of a bit of a snag. The two Ferraris on track next to each other though. Which one has the more pace? Which one lets the other one through? Billy G and Dom still fighting up the road as well. 5 seconds up. That's how much lost time John lost. Well, that's how much time John lost with that contact with Billy G on the outside of turn 2. On the exit of turn 2, he made contact with them. It looks like the readouts and operator are fighting down there into turn 5 and turn 6. They're still fighting there. Very, very close. James onto the mediums. He's the first of the hard runners in. Speaking of the other hard runners in, it's going to be Doran. Leader in. 12 laps it'll be on those hards. He's in 16 laps on this race. 16 laps on those hards. He gets rid of them. Where will he come out in relative to these two here though? That is the question. Will he come out ahead? Will he come out behind? It's going to come out behind them. How far behind is the question though? Does he come out behind Wakey as well though? He's going to come out ahead of that Red Bull in turn 1. It's going to be a 2-second gap to the cars ahead. And he's going to have to pull that in the middle sector with no DRS assistance on him. But I believe he may be able to do that on this opening lap itself. Mediums are a lot better on grip than those hards, especially around a track like Qatar, where traction and grip is just so much more important. That grip, that's not going to help us grip though. With a loss of grip at the front there, Doran, he locks up into turn 6. That'll be interesting to see if he does that too often. Kills his tyres off. And that could open up the race for those hard runners there. 4 laps younger tyres does Doran have, but I don't think he could have pit any later. Otherwise it would have just, fell apart from there. Dom is going to stay out. Billy G is going to stay out. Vicar comes in early, so I believe they may be trying to extend in the lead, or they may just be sitting there. Matt G follows his dad into the pit lane. Dylan Vince and Alex Haig, of course, staying out in P6 and P7. It's going to be P5, P4 for those. And Doran under pressure from Wakey as well, having the DRS just there. That'll be interesting if he drags him back into the lead battle, as his tyres are now going to be up to temperature. This is going to be where he gains the gap. P4, 11 seconds to the next nearest car for Alex Haig, though he will have the net race lead. And this gap race for the lead and the battle for the lead here is going to get very interesting with Doran on those fresher tyres, the better tyres. At this point, at purple sector 1, even without DRS, for him, he's really pulling in on the 2 in front. And he's already within DRS of Dylan Vince, who's struggling in the middle sector. He took the lead into turn 1, Dylan Vince. Didn't really look back after that one, but he just kind of dropped off. Alex Haig pulled it in, Doran pulled it in, and Wakey pulled it in on him as well at the start of the race. But it looks like Doran's actually struggling through the high-speed portions of the track. Billy G, John and Dom all into the pits already. Along with that, and that releases these 3 into their true positions on track. 2 laps of younger tyres though. Do those have Alex Haig with the fastest lap? The 25.4. Doran doesn't have DRS, and you can see the gap it's having and pulling out on him there through the first sector alone. 8 tenths is what DRS is worth around here. And it's interesting to see if those 2 will battle through a certain complex of corners that could open it up for Doran to pull into the DRS. That's the goal for Doran here. Pull into DRS. He's gained 8 tenths on those 2 through the first sector, or 5 tenths on those 2 through the first sector alone. But it's just the rest of the track, the high speed portions of the track where the toe and the slipstream comes in for them in front, and he just pulls it out. It's impossible around this track a lot of the time. We will see what he does do towards the end of the race with the fresher tyres. The podium will still gain him some championship points over the 2 in front. Gain a decent bit, and he may be back in within a win of the 2 in front. And that's, I guess, all that matters to him. He's just out the DRS coming to the line now. And this is where you'll see the DRS absolutely rapid down the straight, and you'll see the gap it pulls out on Doran. It's 1.6 through turn 1. Alex Haig just drops behind. Nice and smart by him. Vicar with the fastest lap, 25.1. He's pulling in on Billy G, who's 2.7 up the road on him. Currently extending that championship lead though, with Dom ahead. Dom with the penalty is pulling in on Preb as well. Prebelli in the comments is supporting him. Currently P5. That'll be a best finish this season for the McLaren. I'm pretty sure on that one. Very wide though for Dylan Vince, and that's going to open up Doran. So have a little look at Alex maybe, and Doran is back within the magical second of the 2 in front, and he's right on the back of Alex Haig now, who is just absolutely pushing this car to its maximum through these corners, and you can see them saving up as much battery as well through there. Smart operator, 3 second time penalty on P12 at the minute. Brass Monkeys is battling with him. Maybe a bit of pressure he's been put under with that one. As Wakey 10 laps on those hards, really coming to affect him now. Doran with the better exit out the final corner. He gets the move for P2 done. Alex Haig coming back at him towards the end of the straight though. It's going to be in the inside for Doran, outside for Alex. But the better grip for Doran in the better line. And he takes P2 from the man in the Alpine. And now the interesting one is Dylan and Doran, the 2D names. Aston Martin vs VCarb for a second week in a row. That is where the battle is. Dylan Vince looking for 2 on the trot. Doran for a first win since the very start of the season where he took the championship lead. And he hasn't had a win since he's been consistent. He's been on the podium a lot. But he just hasn't had the top end results, hasn't had the wins to really compete for the championship, and he's looking to cement himself into the win column again for the second time this year. Going mad like that, picking up a penalty won't help. Really won't help his cause in this race. And Dylan Vince picks up a penalty, speaking of, and that was commentator's curse. Coming straight in, Dylan Vince 3-second time penalty. And now Doran just has to cruise behind those two, not pick up a penalty, but he's not going to do that. He's going to get into turn 1. He's going to take P1 from Dylan Vince. Into turn 1 they go. Billy G with the fastest lap of the race now, on behind Dom. He's not far behind Wakey as well. Be interesting to see if those two can get 2 onto the podium for Billy G. It would be interesting for him. Now Doran just needs to cement that lead now, keep the gap ahead. And Dylan Vince is going to have that dirty air though, and he's going to have to, where's the tyres that as well? That is the thing with 7 to go. It'll be interesting to see what does eventually come of this race. Do the hards come back to them at the very end, or does Doran just race away with it like he is right now? He's already nearly a second ahead of them. But we know how strong the DRS is. It's worth about 6/10 plus the slipstream, and I don't think any of them are going to get the DRS on Doran, who may actually just race away with the win now. P1 may actually be P1 by a mile by the end of this race. 7 to go for the Aston Martin, and it'll be 6 to go end of this lap. It'll be 7 to go at the end of this lap, sorry. I've been saying 7 to go to 8 to go, of course. You're going to add 1 on. Dylan Vince, no DRS. Alex Haig, sitting duck for him, and he gets that move done into turn into turn 1, well before turn 1. And Alex Haig, right away, pulling back into it. Doran, a little mistake out of turn 1. I'm saying turn 1 a lot, I'm saying P1 a lot. But those behind are just pushing as hard as they can to try and get into this man just ahead. And they need to pull out 3 seconds, or they just need to force him into a mistake. How many warnings has Doran picked up as well? And I don't want to pull out the old Doran. Could be a bit of weather involved, but I heard there's a sandstorm on the way in this race. Billy G looking to get past Wakey. Wakey has been overtaken by Dom, and he's really struggling now. 9 laps newer are his tyres over the Red Bull, who's lifting through turn 13, and that's going to lose him a lot of time to Dom, who's taking it flat. And Billy is now maybe under pressure from Preb later in this race. The Vicar may be under pressure from John. No, it's not really in this race. He's going to be putting Preb under a lot of pressure, and he's going to get that move done before the line even reaches them there, and that is it. On to lap 24. It is Vicar who takes P7. Wakey gets overtaken for P6 and now has 2.5 seconds to try and defend against the Vicar. Actually has that penalty as well, so he's going to have to defend that one along with it. Dylan Vince P3, Alex Haig P2, and Doran in the lead once again. Can he get it done with 6 laps to go around Qatar, known for its 5-lappers as well. At the very start of the 2023 game, or the 2022 game it may have been, when they added the track. It was a very interesting one to drive around, especially with the weird traction model that game had. And Dylan is really starting to struggle now. He may even fall to Dom later on with those fresh mediums over those hards. Alex Haig may actually have a look into turn 1 and get that move done. He's very wide out the final corner. He picks up a 3-second time penalty for the second time in this race. And that cements well, it's not going to be a win at this point. It may not even be a podium for him. Billy G is going to take P4, and that will turn into P3 by the end of this race, and he's going to extend that championship lead over the Vicar by a decent margin now. P4 picking up 18 points. It'll be 16 points for P5, maybe 14 for P6. So is it a bit more? Maybe it's P14, P6. And let's say 6-point swing again, so it's a 12-point gap for the Vicar. Well, for Billy G over the Vicar, it would be, if he doesn't make any positions up now. Well, he's going to make up a position for P6, and he's going to get that position very quickly. But it also depends if Billy G can get into the DRS and possibly even win this race in that Aston Martin. That would be a huge swing and put the Vicar in jeopardy in this championship with 6 to go in the overall championship. Aston Martin looking to secure the constructors early as well before the final race of the season. Be an interesting one to see. Doran under pressure from Alex just trying to force him into a mistake so he can fight for the position, maybe fall out a 3-second gap on that Aston Martin. Dylan Vince behind looking for it as well, and Dom back into P4 as well, and that is interesting there. Dom gets the move done. 2.5 is the gap to the Vicar behind, or 3 seconds is the gap to the Vicar behind. Wakey Joe pick up another 3-second penalty in this race in P7. That is more or less cementing him into P9 in this race. Mad G in a world of his own in P10 as well. He's had quite a consistent race after the contact with this man right here, Billy G, earlier on. After maybe in contact on turn 1 with the Vicar and Billy G. And that is, well, something we'll actually have to ask and see what does come out of the stewards, as the Vicar had a very, very poor opening lap. He dropped miles behind on that opening lap through turn 1. Didn't pick up any damage at least, and you can see him behind. 2 seconds now. With 4 laps to go. 3 laps to go in this race. 3 tours around the Qatari desert. Doran loses the lead on track, but he does have those tyres, he does have the pressure. He just needs to sit there, and he's got the win. Stay ahead of Dylan Vince in case you pick up a penalty yourself. Just be cautious with it. That's all I recommend to someone in his position. And P2, well, P1 it'll be for him. Dylan Vince P3, still looking for 2 on the trot. For the first time in his SFR career, he's new to SFR, of course, this season. He won last week in Japan. Will win again this week in Qatar. But we'll find out soon enough. Canada, of course, next week. That is an interesting one, and yeah, that'll be really fun to see in Canada. Oh, Canada, one of the oldest tracks in F1. Doran just trying to keep the lead at this point though. Dom and Billy G still fighting, 2 to go in this race. 28 out of 29 who takes the win in the desert. Dylan Vince is going to take back P2 from Doran. Billy G is going to take P4 from Dom. He's going to try and get into the slipstream there. Doesn't work though. He's just going to put him under pressure as much as he can. P4 for Billy G is all he needs. He just keeps that championship lead extending and extending. It'll be interesting though. Who does come out on top? Does Doran pick up a penalty? Does Dylan pick up another penalty? Does that promote Billy G into P2? Does it put Vicker into P3? Vicker, of course, pulling in. No penalties for him either. Clean race for the Ferrari since lap 1. And that incident, which we'll see what does come of. Didn't pick it up through turn 1. Didn't manage to see it. We just saw the yellow flags. And the Ferrari on the inside of the track, P16, he started this race. He didn't start the race in P16. Started it in P6. Dylan Vince drops a second there on OWR Alex Haig. And Doran. And Billy G picks up a 3-second time penalty now and has lost a position to the Vicker. As John Mobes picks up a 3-second as well. Doran takes it into turn 1. He takes the effective lead of the race. Does Doran P2 for him on track. Dom takes P4. Billy G takes P5. Back on track after Dom's overtaken him, sorry. But the Vicker just needs to keep it all 4 on the track. All 4 tyres on the black stuff. Well, he can have 3 on the white. Cool, as long as he keeps 1 on the black, that's all that matters to him. And he will swap a little bit of points swing to him. But it'll be Alex Haig coming through the middle sector now, sliding through the middle sector at that. Doran in that Aston Martin is extremely quick though. We won't see an overtake at the line, but we will know what will happen post-race with the penalties. Alex Haig has led most of... It's not been most of this race, it's been an on and off swap for the lead race with him. It'll be interesting to see if he drops ahead behind the Vicker, but it's been a swapping race between Alex Haig and Dylan and Doran. It's going to be Alex Haig on track who takes the checkered flag, but will it be for the podium? It's going to be Doran who takes the win in Qatar for his first time since Mexico. Dylan Vince will take P2. Alex Haig P3. The Vicker will come home in P4, 1 place ahead of Billy G. They swap 2 points, gap to 4 into Canada. P5 for Billy G, P6 for Dom, P7 for Preb, 8 for John Mobes, 9th for Mad G, P10 for OWR Silver Fox. Wakey will come home in P11 after pitting towards the end, and it'll be readouts in P12. And it is SFR Doran once again, top of the timing tower at the end of the race. It was pole position, and it's a race win for him, as James is having a bit of a spin out of the final corner there. He may be out of fuel. He is out of fuel. It's a fuel killer, this track. We've always known it as that. Night Creep P14 behind his teammate. P15 for Brass Monkeys and P16. And out of fuel is James Z Killer. My personal driver of the day. That was a tough one to go with. Prev is the games driver of the day. My personal driver of the day, I'll decide. And I'll announce it in the server, but I'll decide probably now. Doran takes the win. P2 for Dylan Vince. It's 2 podiums in a row for him. Alex Haig P3. P4 for the Vicker. P5 for Billy G. P6 for Dom. P7 for Preb. P8 for John. 9th for Mad G. 10th for Silver Fox, rounding off that top 10, of course. P11 Wakey Joe. P12 Readouts. P13 Smooth Operator. Night Creep P14. P15 Brass Monkeys. P16 James Z Killer. And it is an all finishing race tonight. My driver of the day has to go to Dom. He moved up, of course, 7 positions. in the race, or 6 positions on, well, 5 positions on track. He moved up a lot of positions in the race, however. And he did finish P4 on track. I give that a 7th place, but it was just unlucky on the consistency. Preb as well, up a couple positions, 3 positions for him. So Dom, my driver of the day, Doran, your race winner. Thank you for watching Division 4 this week. Canada next week for Division 3, for Division 4, and Division 3, and Division 2, and of course Division 1. But we'll see what does happen in the remaining rounds. 4 points will be the gap heading into Canada. 5 races to go in the championship. And now it gets interesting. Division 3 still on at the minute. Division 2 tomorrow night. Division 1 on Wednesday night. Thank you for watching, of course, and we shall see you next week in the lovely Canadian sunshine, hopefully. That is it from Division 4 action.